Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Would you like even more content? Here's my Patreon. Now onto the stories. Case file number 1334, written by Barnacle Baritone. The bus ride that united hearts. Growing up, I had an acquaintance we'll call M. We went to the same church, the same school. But I was 2 years older than M, and when you're 5, that's a world of difference. I was aware of M's existence, the same way I was aware of the sun. You know it's warm, but you don't really look at it. So I happily passed through high school without thinking much of M as a person of interest in my life. But then I was 28, having gone to college, and loved, and worked just like everyone else until I had a dream. I was sitting on the bus next to a woman. She was older than I remembered, her dark hair streaked with gray, and shorter than it had been when I last saw her. It must have been 20 years since I'd seen M's mother, but it was her, wearing a pair of dark slacks and a crimson sweater with a button fixed to one shoulder. The bus was old and smelled odd, its vinyl seats creaking when it stuttered and screeched to a halt on the side of the road. In my dream, I stood up, but someone on the other side of M's mother made to stand too. And it was M herself. I took her hand and we walked off the bus. Turning around, I saw M's mother give a shallow wave as the doors hissed closed, and the bus roared away from the curb and motored down the street. I blinked awake and it was around 6:30 a.m. I couldn't go back to sleep because the dream was so vivid. After a shower and a coffee, I picked up my phone and checked my social media. A friend of a friend of a friend had posted that M's mother had died that morning, after an elective surgery gone wrong that lasted most of the night. Maybe it could have been coincidence or déjà vu, whatever mental exercise my mind needed to go through that morning, maybe something that triggered it in those days leading up to it. I don't know what it was, but it freaked me up that morning. I couldn't even send my condolences the same way all the friends of friends had done. I honestly just wanted to ignore it all. Then, 2 days later, I was filling up my gas tank at pump number 7, and I saw her at pump number 3, M coming home to take care of her mother's affairs. She was wearing a pair of black jeans, paired with a deep red sweater, an ivory-colored button holding the sides of one shoulder together. It's honestly hard to explain what happened next. The awkward hellos that led to long coffee dates, M moving home from the big city, and moving into her mother's house. The first time I held her hand, and it just felt like in the dream. We married 2 years later, and I never told her about what I saw on the bus. I didn't want to sound crazy. Honestly, for a long time I forgot about it until we got a cat. The cat had a habit of staring long for like hours at one corner every night. Maybe he sees a ghost, I said idly. And then we had a long conversation about the possibility of ghosts or spirits or whatever. I thought a lot about her mother. Can I tell you something strange? M said. The night my mother died, I had a dream. You were holding my hand. You don't have to believe that this actually happened to me. There are things that I can't explain in this life. But I know that the night I dreamed of my future mother-in-law, deceased on a bus, shot my life in a direction I never knew existed. And I'm so freaking grateful it happened. Case file 1334. The bus ride that united hearts. Who says that glitches can't create love? No one can anymore after this story. Wow. Harkening back to the Oracle in the Matrix and the vase, did the knowledge from the dream push you into love, like Neo was affected by what the Oracle said, or was he always going to break the vase no matter what? A self-fulfilling prophecy of sorts, or was love guaranteed in this lifetime, regardless of what you saw or didn't see? I like to think of it as the former, because it gives us more wiggle room in how we structure our own future and how we apply free will to it. Because even if in this one particular universe the future is preordained, there's other futures, so it wouldn't negate free will exactly, but it's still, you're on this track and you want to be able to say, yeah, I can affect the direction the train is going to go. I just find that more interesting, I guess. Bonus file written by No-BrowEntertainment, the best fried ghosts in town. So I work as a busboy in a little family-owned country restaurant. The building was built in 1887 as a family home, but it was abandoned by 1900. My boss bought it around 2000 and renovated it, and it's now a restaurant. And we have a bit of a ghost problem. Nothing too bad, mind you, just occasional glimpses and people who shouldn't be there. There's a woman in a rocking chair in one corner who isn't there, and a little boy who stares into the oven before disappearing. I've seen one too. It's an older woman dressed in black who sits at the table alone. She seems so sad. I've only seen her out of the corner of my eye while walking past that room. I'll walk past and think, oh, I didn't know there was anyone in that room. And then I'll go back and realize I was right. There isn't anyone in that room. By far the weirdest incident though was this. One day, maybe a year ago around 3 p.m., I'm sweeping the floors and I heard this crashing noise from down the hall. Everyone else hears it too. It sounds like a pile of plates or glass falling over and shattering. But there's nothing. We looked through the entire building and nothing's broken, nothing fell. About a month ago, a storm came and a tree fell right through the window in the room I was sweeping in. The same room where a lady in black appears. Anyway, we have great fried chicken. Caissons for the bonus file. The best fried ghosts in town. Sometimes I try to imagine the life story of ghosts I read about. For instance, the little boy looking into the oven. Did his father recruit him young to aid in the restaurant business? If it's a pizza-style oven, maybe to help create perfection pies. Thinking of it like that, you can see why some ghosts would want to linger behind, repeating their best memories. It's actually like heaven in Supernatural, where heaven is reliving your best moments, your best memories. For the spirit's still here, not in trauma, but in contentness. I can understand that perspective. On occasion, this pattern they repeat can be abruptly halted by someone or something else, in which case you may hear falling objects. In that pattern, it was abruptly interrupted. It's like stopping a train. Everything on it moves with it. But it wasn't real matter. It wasn't material of this dimension. Not for a long period of time, because you might see the ghost, but eventually it'll fade away. The pattern you only see parts of. Same thing with the falling plates. And now time for the quote of the day. The human brain starts working the moment you are born and never stops until you stand up to speak in public. George Jessel. I was thinking about this the other day, where I'm pretty comfortable speaking to an audience now of thousands of people, sometimes tens of thousands in one video. And I'm saying a lot of stuff. And yeah, I do have the ability to edit it. So if I flub a word or something, I can just push over it. No biggie. Even though I'm speaking, it's like a number on a screen. It doesn't feel, and I interact with people in the comments and everything, but it doesn't feel the same as speaking to someone in real life. And especially the same amount of people, thousands of people in an auditorium or something, it would be very difficult for me to do that. I'm not exactly nervous. I'm a pretty stoic person in general. But speaking to that many people, there's just so many minds transfixed on you in that given moment. I guess if I had something important to say and I knew what I was going to say, maybe then it wouldn't be so bad. But just like thrust in randomly, that would be terrifying. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.